Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is My Life. So this is part 2 of my previous episode about my first husband, and we will continue. Last I was talking about getting my physical to get my tubal ligation. Tubal ligation is getting your tubes tied, for those that don't know. So it was time for me to get the physical. I had a secret. Before my physical came, I was noticing some changes. And I had taken a pregnancy test in a Tim Hortons bathroom, and it came back positive. I was so scared to tell my husband that I had a positive pregnancy test because he did not want any more children and he wanted me to get my tubes tied. So I already knew what was going to happen at my physical. I went to the physical, acting like I didn't know anything. And of course, pregnancy test came back positive, and they said, well, we can't give you a tubal ligation because you're pregnant. He was furious. He was furious with me. But that didn't change the way he was treating me. I was still scrubbing floors on my hands and knees. Still baking and cooking everything from scratch. Couldn't associate with anybody. I could only associate with people he knew. And he didn't know anybody. Wasn't allowed to use my laptop, and I'm a writer. So I had to give that up. All because I was doing what my husband was telling me to do. So here I am, pregnant again. And I ended up having to quit my job because I was working in a place that made pamphlets for banks and other things, and I couldn't be around that smell of that ink. So my husband had to go and get a job. I was the only one working because this man could not keep a job. He got fired from Taco Bell. He got fired from McDonald's. How? Anyways, I ended up getting a job at a gas station, and I felt like that was my escape, that I was able to get away from him and not be treated the way I was being treated. But I was still not realizing what this asshole was doing to me. I was still forced to go to church every Sunday, every Wednesday. I had to do devotionals and everything throughout the day. I had to read the Bible. If I got any questions wrong, because he would test me on what I had to read, I had to go back and reread everything. There's many times that I've had to read the Bible from front to back. Okay, so if y'all want to know why I'm not a religious person, that's the answer. That is the answer of why I'm not a religious person. I ended up giving birth to my son, summer of 2008. And my husband would not touch me. He did not want to touch me because he wanted me to get my damn tubes tied. Came time for the physical, passed the physical, flying colors. I got my tubes tied. Forced to get my tubes tied. 27 years old, getting my tubes tied, knowing that I'd never be able to have another child. When I wanted to give my son a little brother. After I got my tubes tied, things started to change. He was sleeping on the couch more. Wasn't spending any time with me. The only time I would see him when it was time to eat. He hung out in this little man cave that we had downstairs in the back of our apartment. One day, we had to go to the store. We had to get some groceries. And we got the kids ready. And my husband asked if I could go downstairs and turn off his laptop because he forgot to turn off his laptop. Yes, he could use his laptop, but heaven forbid I touch mine. So I went downstairs, down the back, past our laundry room, went down the stairs to the little man cave. Approached his laptop, I'm moving the mouse so I can close out everything. And a message popped up on the screen. Message popped up. I happened to look at the message and it's from a woman. I'm like, what? So me, just being nosy, clicked on it. Apparently, they've been chatting for a while. They've been chatting back and forth in Yahoo chat. And he was talking about how he wanted to leave me and the kids to be with her. To be with her. Right there, my heart sank to my stomach. Okay, my heart sank to my fucking stomach. Here my husband is cheating on me. And yet, I'm his little fucking servant. I'm his little fucking servant. So I closed out of his laptop. Closed it down. Went outside. Got in our little piece of shit van that I had. Because I was allowed to drive. I was allowed to drive because he didn't have a license. Got behind the wheel. Headed to Walmart. Got to Walmart. I flipped out. I flipped out in the middle of Walmart. I blew up at him. And this was a Walmart I used to work at, so everybody knew me. Everybody knew me there. I told him exactly what I saw. Told him exactly what I read. And I told him I'm done. I am done with this fucking marriage. So I dissolved our marriage right then and there in the middle of freaking Walmart. When we got home, I had the kids go to their rooms, go play. And I put the groceries away. And we talked about marriage counseling. Marriage counseling. And we decided that it would be our pastor that we would do the counseling through. So I set up with our pastor, one-on-one marriage counseling. When the day came for us to do the marriage counseling, my husband backed out. He backed out. So that was telling me that he did not want to work on this. He probably did want to be with this Yahoo chat whore. That's why I hate the internet. That's why I hate all these little messaging apps and whatnot, because there's more now than there was before. Okay? I was starting to see the light. Starting to think a little clearer. Started to realize what I was going through the whole time I was with him. The whole time I was married to him. The gaslighting. The manipulation. The brainwashing. So my next move would go down in history. Stay tuned for part 3.